will steal our cars, our valuables, just about anything they can get their hands on.
To cut down on crime and antisocial behaviour, the police are using new tactics where the bad guys get caught in the act.
They're launching covert operations.
Keep pretending you're talking on the phone for a bit longer, OK, mate?
And setting clever traps.
The laptop he's about to steal is equipped with a tracking device
that deliver unsuspecting crooks
go
right into their hands.
And there are also ways that we, the public and local businesses, can fight back with some tricks of our own.
I'm not going to sit back and let them do this. I know what you look like and I know who you are.
We've caught you and we're sending you down.
So, anyone who's up to no good had better think twice. They might just get caught red-handed. Coming up today on Caught Red-Handed, police go after a crook who's stolen a laptop that belongs to them.
Dad?
Yep, that's the one.
Also today, in Nottingham, an opportunistic thief doesn't realise he's being filmed.
I thought, at this stage, great, I've got you.
And this driver leaves his mark on a parked car, but he doesn't leave a note. Sitting on a park bench in Eastbourne, drinking coffee with his laptop by his side, this man looks like any other member of the public, enjoying a quick break from the world. A few minutes later, he gets up to make a phone call and then wanders off, absent-mindedly leaving his laptop behind, completely unguarded. Careless, you might think, but it's not what it seems. This is all part of an undercover police sting operation. Watching is plainclothes PC Dan Cloak.
It's a waiting game now. We'll soon find out if it's been stolen or not. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't exciting, but we'll see how it goes.
Eastbourne isn't really a place you'd associate with crime, but it's rising.
The increase in theft offences has gone up by probably 15% in the last 12 months.
So to snare a thief, Dan and the plainclothes unit has specially prepared a bait laptop.
The purpose of the operation is to prosecute the people that are buying stolen goods from the thieves. By taking out one handler, we can remove possibly 10 to 50 crimes, and that means 10 to 50 less victims of crime.
It's not just time and money we can lose when someone steals our laptop. It can be valuable data, such as government information or something very sentimental and totally irreplaceable. Joanne is a professional photographer, and one day she got in late after photographing a wedding.
What I do after every wedding is I come home that evening and I back up. So I've got 3 copies.
Safe, you might think. But while she slept upstairs, burglars broke in and stole her expensive laptop and photography equipment, as well as her vital storage drives.
Initially, to be honest, I didn't think about myself. The first thing that came to mind were the wedding pictures. You know, a couple. I'd spent a long time with them, as I always do, connecting with them, choosing special places on their day, taking time out to get the right shots. Those memories which you cannot recapture had gone. I spent the next 3 weeks sobbing my heart out because I'd lost wedding photos.
Joanne has had to rebuild her business and now backs up her computer to an internet cloud storage system for extra security. That's why PC Dan Cloak is keen for his bait laptop to be swiped, to stop future thefts of computers and the heartbreak personal data loss can bring. The team have concealed a tracking device inside the laptop that will enable them to follow it, should it fall into the wrong hands.
I make sure that the charger goes with the laptop for the simple reason our device, our tracking device, is directly attached to the laptop battery. The first thing that the thief will do is plug the laptop in, which gives us more of an opportunity to track it because they charge my device up for me.
Also, there is every opportunity to do the right thing. there's a card with the apparent owner's contact details.
Just so it's fair on those that don't intend to steal it.
Dan and a fellow undercover officer will plant the laptop in a place that's known to attract would-be thieves.
We'll leave it wherever the offending's been, and that's in parks, cafes, on buses.
As we saw earlier, the laptop's been left on a bench, but will it stay there? 20 minutes later, Dan gets a call.
Yeah, hi. Oh, thank you very much.
A member of the public phones to say they found his laptop. Dan arranges to meet them back in the park.
I won't identify myself as a police officer, because for all I know, it could be a dishonest person that's testing the water. So I'll just thank them for their time and their honesty.
No thief caught this time.
Well, we'll put the laptop back out somewhere else, and it's almost like fishing. We need to cast our rod a couple of times before we get a successful hit.
Next, they're going to leave it in a cafe.
See you later.
The bait laptop will alert Dan when it's being moved, and he can then track it on his own computer. But although theft figures are up in this town, Dan's about to find out that sometimes you can't even give something away.
Soon after we deployed it, an old lady picked it up and handed it into the cafe. You've got to be in it to win it.
Then they try a local pub garden.
Lovely, thank you. Bye.
But
it's been handed into staff. It's a little bit frustrating for me, considering that I'm there specifically to target the offenders. However, it does give you a slight glow inside. A lot of people out there are honest people.
But Dan knows the recent rise in thefts means that not everybody's such a glowing example. Later, the next person to take the laptop certainly isn't bringing it back.
I saw one of our well-known criminals walking off with it under his arm.
They're in for a nasty surprise. But first, a different kind of thief, the chancer.
Most crime is not like the crime you see on the movies. Most crime isn't targeted, it's opportunistic thieves that really focus on the vulnerabilities of a house, something that might be left in the garden, the open window, the open door. They might see something they want inside that property and they'll take that opportunity.
We're about to see a classic example of opportunistic theft. This is a quiet street in Nottingham. The camera filming this scene is in this van. The van belongs to Shauna. She bought the camera to protect herself against car crime.
I've done a lot of driving in the past, and there's a lot of this crash for claims going on at the moment, and I've had an awful lot of very, very near misses. These cameras became available on eBay, and for £22 it'll record for 13 hours on a continuous loop. And so if you have an accident or anything else, you've got an actual record.
But Shauna's camera ends up filming a far different crime from the sort she might have been expecting.
Out of the way. One of my friends wanted some help with the garden, went down to give her a hand, took the lawnmower with me.
After cutting the grass at the front, Shauna and her friend go round to the back, leaving the mower by the garage doors. After doing a spot of pruning, Shauna comes back round a few minutes later to find her £250 mower has disappeared.
And I said to the girl there, Rachel, I says, "What are you doing with the lawnmower?" She says, "Nothing." I said, "Where is it?" And I thought she was joking, but no, the lawnmower had gone. And then I thought to myself, hang on, I've got my camera running.
The camera is aimlessly recording the view from the front of her van when this man rides past. Except he isn't just riding past. Something catches his eye. Shiftily looking round as he parks his bike, badly, he then disappears from view for 15 seconds before he scampers past lugging Shauna's mower. What exactly happens to the mower next is a mystery, but the man must have stashed it somewhere nearby so that he can come back for it later. And in less than a minute, he returns with a spring in his step, before quickly pedalling off.
The audacity of it to just, in broad daylight. I could understand at night time, sneaking around the back and, stealing something, but broad daylight.
Yet the footage provides some vital clues.
And there he goes with my mower.
3 seconds after spotting it is all it takes for this man to decide that he's going to steal Shauna's mower, in a classic example of opportunistic theft.
He must have gone into one of the houses opposite, dumped the mower at one of his friends or something like that. And I thought, at this stage, great, I've got you.
While he waltzes off with Shauna's mower, the thief also thoughtfully turns to face the front of her van, allowing a proper mugshot. And allowing Shauna to put into action a poster campaign to publicly trap the perpetrator.
I put my mobile number on the posters and also asked people to, if they know who this chap was, to either contact me or contact the local police.
In total, Shauna puts up nearly 30 posters in the area.
Everybody was, sort of looking at these posters and coming out of this local school and stuff and looking at the poster. And
Just 5 hours later, the mower thief is grassed up.
This guy phoned me up, he says to me, he says, I know him. He says, I know that chap. He says, he's my window cleaner. And he says, I've got his phone number as well. So here's his name, here's his mobile number, and he won't be cleaning my windows anymore.
Shauna hands the thief's details straight over to the police.
I thought it's better to leave it with the police because I didn't want to sort of, if you like, contaminate anything by contacting him myself, because I may have, said some choice things to him.
When the man is arrested a week later for another unrelated offence, his name is flashed up on the wanted list and he soon confesses to the misappropriation of Shauna's mower.
He was, I think, given an 18-month conditional discharge. If he does anything else wrong, that will be taken into account, and I got compensation for the cost of the mower. So it all ended quite well.
It did indeed end well. And still to come on Caught Red-Handed, dicing with death.
The police laying in wait to catch the level crossing light jumpers. And also, in church, these two are coming to pray, not on their knees, but on the valuables inside. But first, in Wrexham, an example of how a small misdemeanour can have big consequences. This driver displays some pretty appalling skills behind the wheel. And some pretty appalling manners too, when he just motors off without any attempt to notify the owner of the car he's just hit. When the car owner sees the damage the next morning, he checks his CCTV camera. Handing the footage over to the police, they find this hit-and-run driver, and he's charged with careless driving and failing to stop at or report an accident. He was fined and he has 5 points put on his licence. Bet he wishes he'd just left a note. In these penny-pinching times, police are looking at cost-effective ways of reducing crime, like the laptop we've seen PC Dan Cloak leave purposely on a park bench.
The good thing about operations like this is it takes minimal resources to complete the operation. As such, it saves the public money, but also they have a massive impact on crime figures, and less people will be victims of crime.
To help combat a recent spike in personal thefts, we've seen Dan and his team leaving a bait laptop out unattended to look like someone simply forgotten to take it with them. But a tracking device is concealed inside. If anybody walks off with it who shouldn't, then they'll be followed. And with today's attempt, Dan already has a bite.
I've just deployed the laptop in the town centre, in quite a busy part of the town centre, hoping that someone would steal it. I then driven around the block, and about 30 seconds later returned back to where I deployed it, and it disappeared. And it just so happens, as we were driving around, I saw one of our well-known criminals walking off with it under his arm.
But Dan doesn't want to leap in too soon and heads back to the police station. He wants to see if this known thief will lead him to a handler, somebody who pays for stolen goods. Thieves are less likely to steal something if they can't offload it quickly for easy cash. So stop the handler and you stop thefts. The laptop is fitted with a satellite tracking device. Dan can watch this thief's progress at his leisure back at the station.
I think it goes against the grain, really, with your sort of policing instincts. You've seen a theft occur, you want to arrest them for it, but this is where you've got to go against your better judgment and just let him walk off with it.
Dan also has footage of this man carrying the laptop from the CCTV cameras covering the town centre.
He's just milling around, he's not going anywhere, he's just milling around, and then he hides himself between the two advertising banners.
Could it be he's trying to hide from this police car that happens to be driving by?
And once he's happy that no one's going to challenge him, he then scoots off into the shopping centre. It'll be a nice surprise for him in the morning, bright and breezy. He'll get a visit from us.
The next day, and the GPS signal shows the bait laptop is still at the same address.
I can only assume, really, that he's intending to keep it. So we'll look to do a warrant on his house.
After nearly 2 days, the man has had every chance to return the laptop. So, a couple of hours later, a search warrant is granted. The team briefed, and a raid is launched. Nobody's at home.
1405. Any exhibits bring them back to me, bagged up and signed, please.
They search for the laptop.
Dan?
Yeah?
Toshiba?
Yep.
That's the one?
Yep.
It was in the bag. In amongst these clothes down here.
Super. Right, we just carry on completing the search. It's, funny enough, just text me to say it's moved. So, it's still working.
Found it 1405 in the bedroom.
And while we're here and we've got the authority to search the property, it makes sense to search for anything else that we believe that could be stolen. Just be aware, guys, that they use needles. He wasn't at the address, so we're going to go out looking for him now with the view of arresting him for theft. He's known to hang around the town centre, so I don't think it'll take us long to find him.
Dan knows this man well, a repeat offender. Dan has arrested him on 3 previous occasions. The man is currently on a suspended sentence.
There he is. Steve. Steve. Hello, mate. How are you?
Well, what's up?
The reason I need to speak to you, buddy, is about a laptop.
What?
It's about a laptop.
Yeah.
Okay. You were seen to walk off with a laptop that was stolen from the town centre yesterday afternoon.
Stolen from the town centre?
That's right. And subsequently, we've done a warrant at your flat.
Yeah.
And we found the laptop in your flat.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrest you
on
suspicion of theft. All right?
The man knows he can't get out of this one and doesn't put up a struggle.
I walked home with something and it's still lying in my flat.
It was?
Yeah, it was.
It was. It's not anymore?
No, but it was.
Hey.
I was going to, right, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Finish your roll.
I've just said that.
Yeah, hands behind your back then, mate. What we'll do is we'll pop you down to the police station. We'll have a quick chat with you about it.
Okay. I picked something up, I took it home. I played on it last night. It's a stupid thing to do.
The man is penitent as he's taken into custody. Already on a suspended sentence, he admits another offence as well as stealing the laptop, and as a result is given a 9-month extension to his current sentence, a fine and a community order. Dan knows he has to keep tackling repeat offenders in Eastbourne. Every conviction will help to reduce the thefts that have recently risen.
It's a lot of hard work. I didn't get a handler. I was after a handler. I was hoping that he would sell it on, but that's the way it goes sometimes. You have to throw the bait out a number of times before you get the desired result. But you know, I've caught a thief, so it's a good job, but I'm happy.
Most of us keep our homes locked, but public places, like churches, throw their doors open to everyone, relying on the goodwill of visitors to leave the place as they found it. Sadly, as we're about to see, this isn't always the case. Birmingham, and situated opposite the city hospital, this church is left open for patients and visitors to come and go as they please. The downside is that not everyone's behaviour is heavenly, such as these two men who are about to commit daylight robbery. Although at least one of the men appears to have a pang of guilt, crossing himself as he approaches the altar. Even the man who carries out the theft appears to offer a quick prayer for forgiveness before standing on a small chair, reaching up to unhook a solid silver lamp believed to have been at the church since it was built in 1895. Worried about non-divine intervention, his accomplice watches the exit. Using a tracksuit top, the pair shroud the lamp, thought to be worth around £4,000, before walking quickly out of the door. While the church may forgive the theft of their property, West Midlands police certainly don't, and hope from this footage someone will identify these two religious robbers.
Police surveillance isn't just about solving crime. It can be used to protect us from ourselves. And judging by some of the scary scenes you're about to see, you can see why.
West Barnes, London, and the British Transport Police are laying a trap. Specially designed, this van is rigged with 9 separate cameras. At the moment, all are trained on this busy level crossing, watching and waiting. Why? Well, here's why. Level crossing lunacy is a constant problem in the UK. There are about 7,000 crossings in the country, and some people would rather risk their lives than wait. Like this smartly dressed chap coming up, who obviously feels those flashing red lights and barriers don't apply to him. Well, if he can, I can, a young man reckons, but he hasn't looked properly. The youth is literally millimetres from death, so close that train connects with trainer and actually wrenches it off his foot. That man is 20-year-old Craig Grant.
I felt something hit me on like my ankle, and the pain just was like astronomical. The pain was just rushing through my body like pins and needles, and then like within seconds my ankle was just swollen up. When I'd gone to the hospital, I'd broken a bone in my heel. We've got the geezer here, just walking casually across, and then obviously in a minute you see me coming, but obviously I had my headphones in so I didn't hear nothing. And then I just looked slightly and I see the train, I just made a dart for it forward. Yeah, it makes my mum feel sick every time I show it or she sees it.
Every year, around 10 people are killed on level crossings. PC Chris Shepherd knows exactly the type of people who play Russian roulette with their lives in this way, and the truth is close to home.
It's sort of Mr. Average, Mrs. Average, your general law-abiding, decent person that would normally never ever interact with the police before is the sort of person actually who commits the offences at level crossings. We've found that it's quite often females aged 45 plus can be one of our worst offending groups. About 92% of them live within 3 or 4 miles of the level crossing, so actually they've sort of got this inherent sort of belief that they know how the level crossing operates. It's safe the way they do it.
It isn't. When train connects with car at speed, the consequences are devastating. In 2004 in Berkshire, a train hit a car on a level crossing. The resulting impact killed not only the car driver, but the train driver and 5 passengers. So, although most of us get frustrated by the lights at times, cheating them like this is an offence. And having seen the carnage caused, Chris and the British Transport Police want to get tough on the level crossing leapers for their own sake.
Even let's say that person jumps the lights and doesn't get killed by some small miracle, they're going to have to live with the fact that they've potentially derailed a train, they've ruined people on the train's lives and so forth.
That's why Chris, a former electrical engineer, helped Network Rail with the design of this high-tech multi-camera van. And that's why he and his fellow officers are waiting just down from this level crossing. The best way to stop people is to catch them red-handed. And it's not long before a car goes for it.
What do you think I pulled you over for? Red lights.
I thought it was amber.
But it was red.
Crossed over, it was amber.
Well, come and have a look and I'll show you the video. Step out of the vehicle. Can we play the video back of that one?
There's no getting out of that one.
Let's pop back to your car. Have you got your driver's licence with you today?
Yes.
I've got a question I'm going to ask you now, okay?
Yes.
You committed an offence which we can put £60 and 3 points on your driver's licence, okay? However, at this time I am able to offer you the driver retraining course, alright?
The offer is refused.
I'll just take the points and fine.
Is there any reason why you don't want to take the course?
Because I don't think I'd learn anything from it.
Why don't you think you'd learn anything from the course?
I just don't want to spend my time doing that when I don't need to.
You've obviously made a minor transgression at this stage, okay?
Yeah, a minor transgression.
But unfortunately, what you have to realise is there's major implications to your actions. You know, there's trains coming through at 70 miles an hour with 1,500 passengers on. And what they need people to do is to comply with the red traffic signals, and it's a safe road and rail network. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a good day. None of them realise that a train can take 20 football pitches to stop. Train drivers, they hit that emergency brake, and it's that horrible sense of inevitability they get that it's not going to stop, and they just think, I'm going to kill that person. Some of them don't ever recover from it. What do you think I pulled you over for, buddy?
What do you think I pulled me over for?
Yeah.
I know why you pulled me over.
Red light.
Red light, it's amber.
We'll come and watch the video?
Yeah.
Red light's on.
Fair enough, yeah.
You can't argue with a camera.
And they'll deny it, and then they'll get really angry about it, and then they'll accept what they've done, and they go, actually what I did was really bad. We just really want people just to get on board with us and start using these crossings safely.
So, always best to stay on the right side of the tracks. Join us next time when the police and the public will catch more criminals red-handed.